Can you please state your name and what state you live in?
My name is Ramon Fuentes. I'm from Watsonville, California.
Did you have more than one foreclosure on the same property? And when did it start?
One property, and the property just foreclosed on August the 30th of this year, and I have two active lawsuits. One in a bankruptcy appellate panel in Pasadena, and then another one with the federal district court, Northern District here in California as well.
When did the foreclosure start?
The foreclosure started back in 2009.
And you're saying there just was the final judgment just this past
There was a foreclosure. Yeah, I was at the Santa Cruz County court uh, steps, and I did not see no bidding going on, and apparently it was bought by Redwood Holding LLC out of the LA area. But they, as of today, they have not recorded the notice, the trustee's deed upon sale.
Okay, so you're still in the property?
Yeah, the property. Yeah, we're still in the property.
Okay. And you're in a non-judicial state, correct?
That's correct, non-judicial.
Have you found it difficult to defend against foreclosure in court?
Extremely, and actually it has culminated to the fact that I've been litigating pro se. And I had Bill Padilla do two declarations audits. And the ultimate one has culminated into, because in my initial Santa Cruz Superior Court case, Blank Rome, the legal counsel for Deutsche Bank, Aquin, BHH, Western Progressive, they provided 263 pages of documentation, including the no deed of trust, all the documentation. In those 263 pages of production, they had three different variations of the alleged note.
I'm about to ask you.
I had Bill Paddle do a supplemental audit on that, because comparing that those production of documents to the proof of claim that was submitted in my bankruptcy case, it's very obviously they're fabricating documents up and down, and so I brought that to the attention of the bankruptcy judge, and she basically disregarded Bill Padill's declaration and audit. So they are admitting an unadmissible evidence, fabricated documentation, and so basically that's really what has culminated to as of right now. And
thank you. Yes, forged and facially invalid assignments and endorsements have been filed and used as a basis to foreclose in millions of cases. So you've already described a little bit about those robo-signed or fraudulent documents. And you said that Bill Padlow had done an investigation on those. Were there any known robo-signers? Were there endorsements that were also seemed to be faked?
This is the frustrating part, and because there are dozens and dozens of just made up stuff. Erica Johnson said from the get-go, she robo-signed the first assignment of deed of trust in 2009, and on and on and on. I mean, just all you need to do is look at Bill Padillow's declaration and audit, and it's systematic. It's systematic, top bottom.
Thank you. Entities foreclosing are representing themselves to be trustees for trusts, yet these trusts often no longer exist or have no capacity to demand foreclosure. You had the Bill Padlow declarations in your case. Did those indicate that that was happening in your case?
Absolutely, absolutely. Everything that, his declaration, black and white, flat out says there's no trust, and there's no trust that ever existed. And yeah, so it's at this point, it's I don't think it's even the lenders or servicers or investors right now. What is coming down to, in my opinion, is the court system, the judges. They're basically covering up. No matter what we expose, no matter what evidence beyond a reasonable doubt, they're covering up the whole Federal Reserve System. That is the bottom line. No matter how much proof we have, they're gonna find ways on how to invalidate it or just ignore it.
Thank
Bottom
you. Did you ever get any evidence that the entity foreclosing on you was actually the party that was owed the debt, or did you feel like that there were, like for your proof of claim, you mentioned, was there any indication that that was fraudulent proof of claim?
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. I mean, I've filed over 23 Consumer Financial Protection Bureau complaints, demanding that they validate, affidavits to the attorneys. And as of now, no matter what I ask of them, they're not responding to the QWRs, debt validations, all of that stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's just overwhelmed. No matter what we ask for, they don't demand it. And then here, the court system, the judges, they admit all of this fabricated documentation. So
Mhm.
that's what we're fighting. And
Yes, I know. And in my case, and I think your case too, it sounds like the judge just simply ignored um, the declaration from Bill Padalo. They simply ignored the declaration from Bill Padalo. Did you experience any other due process violations in your case that you're aware of, such as not being informed of a hearing or any other due process violations?
well, sometimes they ignore the finding of things, like we're not following procedure, and I'm learning as I go. I have these great paralegals that are assisting me. But yeah, no, they play games against us, the pros A's, and
Mhm.
mostly it's been about that, that they do not want to file certain documents. And then I wanted to file a document here at the county recorder's office in Santa Cruz. And Fred, I forgot his last name. He basically runs that county recorders. And he did not allow me to file this notice of intent of secured creditor. And basically I showed him the law that it's my right to do that. And so he threatened to call the district attorney against me
Oh,
when they are the ones violating my rights, and I addressed that to them.
oh my
So
goodness, I'm so sorry. Did you experience not being able to find an attorney at any point, or were any of the attorneys you turned to for help disbarred at any point?
well, me personally, no, but when we started back in 2010, we brought this attorney from Sacramento. She started a mass joiner. Christine Crone was her name, if I recall correctly. She got disbarred. And
Thank you.
she was a very humble and young lawyer. She was in her early 30s, and we did a workshop here at a local church, and we got about almost 100 families. And
Wow.
but yeah, and yeah, but that's what it is. Yeah, she got this bar, unfortunately. And
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Thank you so much. Did you learn about any conflicting interests that the judge in your case might have, which they did not report?
conflicting. Um, oh, excuse me, somebody's walking in. Oh, cookies, ahorita estoy en una conferencia. Ahorita. Yeah, it's my sister-in-law.
Okay.
She's also fighting a foreclosure. Everybody's fighting foreclosure here in Watsonville.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
Judges are supposed to report any conflicting interests ahead of a case where they might have an interest. Did you learn about any conflicting interests that the judge in your case might have?
No, I've been researching to see if the properties that they're have MERS assignments. So, but no, I have not yet come to that conclusion.
Mhm. You said you had some experience in trying to join a mass joinder. Can you tell me more about that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question again, Ann?
You had mentioned that you were in a mass joinder or were trying to get a mass joinder going and that you had trouble with that. Can you speak a little bit more about that and the problem with mass joinders? Or
Yeah, well, actually, this is back in 2010. Yeah, we got this attorney from Sacramento. She started a mass joiner, and we had about, I don't know, about 20 homeowners from Watsonville, including myself. But it didn't go nowhere. She was accused that she was collecting fees and stuff like that until she got disbarred.
Mhm. Did you say something about that you found out something about that mass joinders are being shut down in similar ways across the country or something like that? You mentioned something about mass joinders earlier before we got on the call. I mean, before.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the Christine Corona mass journey was one of them. There was several other was from Southern California. Kramer, that was one of them. I believe that was a Kramer and Kramer. So there was several ones, but you know, again, most of them got nowhere. Some of the attorneys ended up in jail, and or got disbarred.
Mhm.
Most of the from my experience following those mass journers, that's what happened.
Yes.
Most of the attorneys got disbarred or ended up in jail.
Yes, I know Charles Marshall was associated, just remotely associated with one, and he just recently got disbarred.
Charles Marshall?
Yeah, the attorney in
Oh my
California.
God.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, this is an attack on humanity. This is financial crimes against
Exactly.
humanity. This is really what it is.
Thank you so much. What has been your experience in getting help from the HAMP program, or any other legal aid organizations or government officials or
Uh,
agencies, the
I think
CFPB?
I think they just wannabes pretending to help. You know, they got no teeth behind it, especially the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They claim to be assisting the consumers, but no, it's just pretending. That's all there is. HAMP again, you know, they're not doing much to assist, and because bottom line, they're not there to really help us. They're just pretending to just deceive. They're basically deceiving us.
Thank you. What kind of damage to your ability to provide shelter or provide for your family? What kind of damage to your reputation, your employability, your health, mental health, family relationships, and or quality of life have you experienced these past 13 years due to the predatory illegal loan and the associated fraud-based foreclosure?
Well, you know what's pretty much all of the above, and you know, it's the emotional
Mhm.
part of the unknown. You know, what's going to happen, and you know, marital problems. Um, it's just overwhelming. It's overwhelming. At first, you know, you're like embarrassed when it first got started. Oh, what's going to happen? Am I going to get foreclosed? People are going to know. So it's just a combination of nothing but negative emotions and
Thank you.